3.
This is Larry Alexander with the Sunday School lesson from the Gospel of Matthew. In Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 29, Jesus concludes his now famous Sermon on the Mount with this warning for us to build our foundation on the Most High faith. There we see Jesus demanding two things. First, he demands that we listen, because the first step in living a Christian life calls for us to give Jesus a chance to be heard. And secondly, he demands that we do. Knowledge does not become relevant until it is put into action. Knowledge must become action, while theory must become practice, and then theology can become life. There is little point in going to see an expert if we are not prepared to act upon his advice. Millions of people go to church every weekend to listen to the teachings of Jesus, and some, as a result, have very good knowledge of what he says. And yet, time and time again, we walk out of the doors of the church and fail to put what we've learned into action. If we are in any sense to become followers of Christ, we must learn to first hear and then do. There is only one word that sums up hearing and doing in both the English and the Greek. In the Greek, that word is upakue, and it means to listen attentively and to heed or conform to command or authority. In English, that word is obedience. It is Jesus' claim that obedience to him is the only true foundation. I am the way, the truth, and the life, is what he said to a doubting Thomas. In the final analysis, all man ever really seeks is life, for he never seeks knowledge just for knowledge's sake, but rather for what that knowledge can do to make his life more worth living. It is Jesus' contention that life through him is the only life worth living. No one goes to the Father but by Jesus. He alone is the way to God. In him we see what God is like, and only he can usher us into God's own glorious presence without fear, without guilt, and without shame. This is Larry Alexander with a Sunday School lesson from the Gospel of Matthew.